afternoon, Hal. How's everything going?
Good afternoon, Mr. Amer. Everything is going extremely well.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 futuristic technologies or concepts previously predicted by a person or film. For this list, we'll be looking at foresight into the future that seemed outlandish at first, but turned out to be eerily accurate.
Good evening, John. You can move the old-fashioned way. John asked.
Number 10. Online shopping. 1999 AD. This retro film gave us a whimsical peek into the future where computers rule the home.
What year is it now? I forgot.
Here, I'll show you.
From online shopping, to smart couches, to on-screen education, to automatic cooking, the family in this short film leads a pretty convenient and comfortable life, much like what we have today.
Split-second lunches, color-keyed disposable dishes, all part of the instant society of tomorrow, a society rich in leisure and taken for granted comforts.
What's mind-blowing is that this vision was conceived over 50 years ago. Sure, they didn't get everything right. They used labeled buttons instead of keyboards and a single-function computer instead of smartphones. Still, 1999 AD nailed the core concept of the tech-filled house of tomorrow that we're living in today.
You gotta keep up with the times, you know.
Number 9. Increased human height. John Elfreth Watkins. In the year 1900, an engineer named John Elfreth Watkins wrote an article in the Ladies' Home Journal titled, "What May Happen in the Next 100 Years?" Surprisingly, many of his predictions ended up being quite accurate. One fascinating guess he made was that the average American would be approximately 1 to 2 inches taller in the next century.
You're so tall.
And believe it or not, he was spot on. The mean height rose from between 66 and 67 inches to 69 inches from 1900 to 2000.
I'm a lover of all types, but there's something about tall guys.
Perhaps Watkins should have ditched his engineering pursuits and become a certified anthropologist.
Excuse me. I was walking behind you and you dropped your wallet.
Number 8. Wireless earbuds. Fahrenheit 451. Many authors have conjured up incredible worlds, but few have seen their imaginations come to life like Ray Bradbury.
So when you're a child, you begin to dream yourself into a shape. And then you run into the future and try to become that shape.
In his 1953 novel, Fahrenheit 451, Bradbury didn't just tell a story. He warned us about society's habits taking a darker turn.
Why is it forbidden?
Because it made people unhappy.
Do you really believe that?
Oh, yes. Books disturb people, they make them antisocial.
While some of his foresights were purely dramatic elements, others hit disturbingly close to home. Take the seashells he wrote about. Tiny devices isolating people from the world around them. Are they not very like the wireless earbuds almost everyone wears today?
But what's amazing about these, right? They have a standard model, right? Base model, 4th generation, but these are the noise canceling ones. This is the first time that Apple has put noise canceling in an open ear earbud.
And the psychological implications of these seashells that he feared? It's not far off either. While we marvel at Bradbury's foresight, we can only hope the darker aspects of his prophecies remain confined to the pages of a book.
Each of you will hide this book somewhere in this classroom. When I return, I will give you a demonstration of the search. To learn how to find, one must first know how to hide.
Number 7. Holograms and video messages. Total Recall. Paul Verhoeven's 1990 sci-fi flick is proof that even the wildest sci-fi can hit close to home. In it, Arnold Schwarzenegger stars as Quaid, a construction worker who discovers his memory might be fake.
What you're experiencing is a free-form delusion based on our memory tapes, but you're inventing it yourself as you go along.
What if it is my delusion? Who the hell invited you?
His quest to uncover the truth leads him to Mars, where he battles conspiracies, mutants, and a corrupt corporation. Set in a futuristic world, the film makes striking predictions that have since become reality.
If you want to live, don't hang up.
What do you want?
They've got you bugged. They'll be busting down your door in about 3 minutes unless you do exactly what I say.
Quaid's use of holographic decoy to outsmart his enemies mirrors today's holographic tech.
Son of a bitch.
The video phones used by almost everyone feel like an early nod to modern video conferencing. Even Johnny Cab, the robot taxi driver, foreshadows self-driving vehicles. Who's to say what other sci-fi ideas will leap into reality next?
How did I get in this taxi? The door opened. You got in.
Number 6. Targeted ads, self-driving cars, smart homes, and gesture computing. Minority Report. Our world today may not have become the dystopian one shown in Minority Report, but some of its predictions feel increasingly relevant.
In the 6 years we've been conducting our little experiment, there hasn't been a single murder.
And now pre-crime can work for you.
In this futuristic thriller, Tom Cruise plays the head of a pre-crime department, working with a team that can predict murders before they happen.
There hasn't been a murder in 6 years. There's nothing wrong with the system. It is perfect, I agree. If there's a flaw, it's human.
While the ability to foresee crimes remains in the sci-fi realm, many little details place viewers firmly in today's tech-driven world. John Anderton is constantly bombarded with personalized ads, cars drive themselves, and eye scans are a norm, all of which we experience today. These details, while futuristic at the time, are now quite real, which raises the question of how close we are to a more controlled and surveilled society.
Sometimes, in order to see the light, you have to risk the dark.
Number 5. The Acela Express. John Elfreth Watkins. Some of Watkins' predictions for the 20th and 21st centuries may not have come to fruition, but we ought to give him credit for nailing a few accurately.
This is one of those bullet trains, right?
Long before bullet trains became reality, Watkins envisioned them, which is pretty bold for someone who existed in an era where steam trains ruled the tracks. Fast forward to today, his prophetic visions mirror modern high-speed marvels like Acela Express, zipping along at 150 miles per hour.
This is the United States of America's only high-speed train. Welcome aboard the Acela Express.
Isn't it incredible how he also got the speed range spot on? To people in his time, his prophecies must have sounded like pure fiction or even bizarre. Yet, over 120 years later, and we're living it. Talk about a chilling glimpse into the future.
You ever watch Thomas the Tank Engine?
Here we got it.
Number 4. Digital color photography. John Elfreth Watkins. Maybe time travelers do exist, and Watkins was one of them. How else do you explain some of his uncanny predictions?
Anna, does your dad have a digital camera?
This civil engineer wasn't just bold with his foresight, he was downright prophetic. Take digital photography, for example. In Watkins' time, photography itself was a miracle to many. Yet he boldly predicted that color photography would one day become a reality. Not only that, he even nailed how they'd be taken from any distance and shared instantly all over the world. While it took years for this technology to get to this point, Watkins was remarkably close in his vision. Who knows what else from his predictions is on the horizon?
Selfie!
Number 3. Wireless devices and Wi-Fi. Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was light years ahead of his time.
It's paradoxical, yet true, that the more we learn, the more ignorant we become in the absolute sense.
He practically dreamed up Wi-Fi before anyone knew what it was. In a 1926 interview with Collier's magazine, Tesla described a world wireless system capable of transmitting images, data, and messages to handheld devices. Sound familiar?
These texts are sent via data. So, behind the network's back, which means
unlimited free texting, only on BlackBerry. Yes.
While the world wasn't ready for his genius back then, his ideas laid the foundation for modern wireless technology. So when you next connect to Wi-Fi, remember to give Tesla a nod for being the original signal booster. He also foresaw mobile phones, drones, and female empowerment, though his ideas were a bit vague. With all he achieved and predicted, it's no surprise some consider him the GOAT. Now, if only those flying cars would show up too.
Make it to the farm, we'll be all right.
Number 2. Movie streaming. Roger Ebert. When you hear the name Roger Ebert, you probably think of the world's most influential film critic, but he was so much more.
Chevy Chase has made a lot of good movies, and God willing, he will make a lot more good movies in the future.
With your help.
Ebert didn't just help shape the way we critique films, he also predicted how we'd watch them. Unbelievable, isn't it? Well, in a 1987 interview, Ebert described what we now know as on-demand streaming.
Welcome to Planet Streaming. Would you like to upgrade for an ad-free experience? Only $3.99 a month.
Instead of visiting movie stores to rent or purchase video cassette tapes, he envisioned a future where you can watch whatever you want right on your screen in stunning high definition.
Everything changed. Okay, I fell in love.
Sounds just like the streaming platforms we enjoy today, like Netflix. Pretty bold for someone who is living in a pre-streaming world, don't you think?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications.
Number 1. Artificial intelligence, tablet computers, video calls, and much more. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick's 60s sci-fi gem wasn't just a masterpiece, it was a crystal ball into the future.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
It focuses on the mind-blowing journey into space, where astronauts Dave and Frank rely on HAL, an AI controlling their spacecraft.
I've just picked up a fault in the AE-35 unit. It's going to go 100% failure within 72 hours.
HAL's ability to process large amounts of data and interact with humans in a chilling way mirrors today's tech, like voice assistants and advanced AIs. Kubrick didn't just stop there. He also accurately depicts other elements of our world, like video calls. Just watch Dr. Floyd chatting with his daughter on a screen.
Hello. How are you, Squirt?
And what about those tablet-like computers the astronauts use? They look strikingly familiar. Mind-blowing, right? Let's just hope the AI of today doesn't go rogue like HAL did. What other sci-fi books or films accurately predicted the future? Let us know in the comments section.
Goodbye.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.